Welcome back to the Susan LoPresti Wellness Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. Today, I'm truly excited to introduce a woman whose energy, passion, and mission are absolutely contagious. Karen ZuZu Ziemer Armes. ZuZu, as she likes to call herself, has spent decades empowering women to reclaim their health naturally by working at the cellular level. Her approach is not just about feeling better, it's about truly coming home to your body. She does it with so much heart. In fact, she'll be the first to tell you she loves your guts. What makes her story even more powerful is her own healing journey. ZuZu successfully reversed epilepsy, scoliosis, and arthritis using nutrition and holistic methods, proof that the body has an incredible capacity to heal when given the right support. She shared her wisdom in over 2,500 seminars, inspiring thousands of people around the world to transform their health and their lives. As the founder of Holistic Health Educators and Lily Fields Retreat Center, ZuZu brings practical, joyful, and deeply nourishing strategies to women over 40 who are ready to feel vibrant, energized, and alive again. Through her cooking classes, her podcast, yes, because she's all body and all heart, and her teachings, she makes holistic health simple, approachable, and truly empowering. This is going to be such a fun, inspiring, and eye opening conversation. So let's dive in. Welcome to the podcast. I am so happy to have you here today, and I'm excited for our conversation.
I am excited too, not only because I love your accent, but I'm always happy to share and I love your audience. So I'm super excited and honored to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you guess where I'm from?
Are you from New Jersey, New York, or New England? Where are you from?
New York.
Ah, yes. My brother he runs the largest off-Broadway theater in New York. So we've spent a lot of time in New York and it's been
Okay.
really neat. And my daughter went to school there at AMDA and I love New York. Neat, neat.
Yeah, it's a cool place to live.
Hmm.
Stud, I want to ask you your own healing journey. It's really incredibly inspiring. Can you take us back to when you were struggling with epilepsy, scoliosis, and arthritis? What was that time like for you at that
Well,
point?
the timeline was I had the epilepsy, didn't know I had it. But I started having seizures in elementary school. And so I'd come home and be like, Mom, this really weird thing happened. When my mom, sweet as pie, would be like, I mean, maybe you're sleeping funny. Maybe we need to adjust the pillows. Or so I got a water bed and we just did different things. But I would still have occasionally the seizures. And then they started coming much more often. And then I had a seizure in front of my mom. And then we went to the hospital. My dad was hunting. And so then, yep, 3 medications later, I was epileptic with medication and I'd have auras and seizures. And it was just very interesting. And so when I was going to get married and have children. I just didn't want to be on all that medication. So I just started studying how to eliminate medication and titrate off of those things. But better yet, what can I do naturally so that my nervous system works better? Like what's missing with my nervous system? So that was really neat. And it's been, oh gosh, that was when I was, yeah, about 20 years old. So it's been 38 years with no seizure. I was able to get off all my medication. I've been able to help a lot of people get off of their medications by understanding the nervous system. So I'm not out here promoting stop your medication. No, but I am promoting when you understand how the nervous system functions and you understand what GABA is, now you have a really great chance of being able to take back control from the seizures that haunt people. And then it wasn't until I didn't realize that I had the scoliosis until I was in college. And when I was in college, I was washing my car and I bent over to pick up the bucket and I couldn't stand up. And I crawled into my apartment and I crawled and pulled the phone down. Remember the old phones with the long
Yeah.
cords? I pulled the phone cord and I called my roommate at work and I'm like, I cannot stand. I'm like, well, I don't know what happened. And they got the x-rays back and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my back. I had back trouble here and there. So I didn't know I could reverse that until probably I was about 48 or 49 when I started being like, wait a minute, I'm gonna work on this. But then back in 2020 is when I really worked at reversing it. And it took about 18 months to reverse the scoliosis. But at that point, I was a practicing practitioner. I've helped a lot of clients, thousands, and I was writing a lot for our school, natural medicine, and that's when I did a lot of myofascia work. So I went in every single week for myofascia. I went in every week for chiropractic, and I did acupuncture. I didn't do acupuncture every week, but over the course of the 18 months, I had an x-ray before and an x-ray later, and voila, it's gone. And that was really exciting. It was neat. And then when I did my thermal imaging, I saw all the arthritis around where the scoliosis was, and that was gone using collagen and my normal diet in about 8 months. So it was neat because and that's why I can never tell people don't use diagnostic. I love diagnostic testing. I love labs. I love the Oates lab. I love Dutch testing. I love any kind of lab to show us a beginning and
Yes.
then end. That's always so neat. So it was really fun. It was cool.
Wow, that's incredible. And so many people will suffer with scoliosis their whole entire life, or arthritis, or be on medication that's probably wreaking havoc on your system in some other way.
And they will, and then they'll go, and that's probably the biggest thing is arthritis is always dependent on food. If you do not change your food, you will never get rid of arthritis. You can't. I became a caretaker for a woman. She was 80 when I got her, and she actually just passed away at 84. But oh my gosh, her whole world changed, her whole life changed coming to live with us, and she had no bones in her right wrist. And so we built a wheelchair ramp, and I got one of those like pusher scooter things. And anyhow, and then I'm like, wait a minute, let's change her diet. So we took her off of all her grain, put her on turmeric throughout the day, and absolutely no more pain. She never once used the wheelchair ramp. And beautiful
Wow.
wheelchair ramp, by the way. Anyhow, and she didn't need the scooter. So I got this brand new, beautiful scooter just tucked away. But it was really neat. All we did was change her diet and add things into her diet and then get rid of inflammation. So this works, everybody. That's why we own a school of natural medicine to teach you, because we just love it. And people do. We watch people get better every day. I have the best job in the world.
I could tell you just embody and love just by talking to you. Okay, so turmeric is definitely anti-inflammatory. What
Yeah.
other foods, just to touch on in case someone's listening that has
Well,
arthritis?
sure. I'm a science buff, so I love science and physics. Now, if you look at an antioxidant, it's just a different word, right? So we have positive and negative ions. This is just everything's electric. And so if you have a positive ion, that's going to look to steal an electron to balance. So if you have an atom and we have one proton, we should have one electron. But if you have 12 protons, that's magnesium, you should have 12 electrons. But what if you only have 11 electrons? Then we need to get a 12th one to balance, right? We need that. Or if we have 13 or if we have 14, we always have I have to have a balance. So positive ions need to balance by stealing an electron from somewhere else. A negative ion is a giver. That's just an atom that has extra electrons. Here, have some of mine. I love you. Take some more electrons. And so in the world of people, we have people that are negative ions, just giving, giving, giving. And you are naturally attracted to that giver because there's extra electrons. It's actual physical scientific reason that when the person X walks in the door and you just feel drawn to that friend, it's because she is vibrating differently than you are and she has extra electrons to donate. This is extremely real and super fun. So if you look at food, we also look at the same thing. There's antioxidant food and oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is the exact same thing as a positive ion, right? A positive, we need to steal an electron to balance. So when there's oxidative stress, think of it as, I'm from Wisconsin. And if you can't tell by my accent, yeah. So I'm from Wisconsin, where if you don't put wax on the car, you are going to have rust because wax is the antioxidant for the oxidative stress of the rust. Right? The water hitting the metal will turn into rust. And so if you put that wax on the car, that's the antioxidant, and then the oxidative stress is eliminated immediately. Same as if you cut an apple. Now we have oxidative stress because now we have a bunch of free radicals. We just cut into the perfectly situated apple. All the atoms were happy. All the electrons were magical if there wasn't a bruise. And now I cut into the apple. So now the electrons are broken, right? And now, oh, so we're going to turn brown. We need to seal the apple so we don't lose any more electrons. If you put lemon on the cut apple, that is your antioxidant to the oxidative stress going on because we just cut through that apple. And think of it, in our bodies are the same way. So if you are eating a lot of cooked and fried and crappy foods with food colorings and natural flavorings, don't believe anything, do not use natural flavorings. Anyhow, all of that, MSGs, otherwise known as 60 different things, all the chemicals in our food, they all cause oxidative stress, period. They just do. If you eat anything cooked, you are definitely going to have oxidative stress, which you can. I don't care. You all can eat cooked food. It's just realizing that we also need antioxidants to help with that, because our body's going to look at cooked food and go, and we're always going to get inflamed every time you eat anything cooked. It's okay. It's natural. But then those oxidative, the antioxidants that come in your fruits and your vegetables and your turmerics and your nuts and your seeds and your legumes and all the world of nutrients are naturally antioxidants. And so the fresher, the better. But absolutely, very great way to help with that.
But ZuZu, even if you're cooking healthy foods, you're getting oxidative stress because you've cooked it and put it to
Yep.
heat. Is that
Yep. And
right?
that's, yes. And it's okay because some foods, like a raw potato is very low frequency. When you cook the potato, it actually increases in frequency and becomes healthier for you. If you cook spinach, if you lightly steam spinach,
Yeah.
then it's going to give you actually different nutrients than raw spinach. So I'm a raw foodist, so most of what I eat is alive, but I don't have any problem sauteing my spinach up or with my cabbage. And I love sauteed vegetables and sauteed foods, but I also drink really healthy things and I eat really healthy foods. And so I have that antioxidant level really, and glutathione, all of us make glutathione. It's a natural part of our body and it's the master antioxidant in the body. Now, if you go through bouts like when we went through COVID and we had a bunch of things put in people's bodies that shouldn't have been there, et cetera, then we had a lot of damage to our bodies making glutathione naturally. So there is a huge glutathione deficiency right now throughout most of the world. But that's also something we are working on, and people are eating better to be getting the compounds together in the body to make glutathione, because glutathione doesn't come out of thin air. We need amino acids and vitamins and minerals that make it. And it's just been, so if you're just bringing in fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds into your daily life, you are literally going to be eating and bringing in the minerals and the vitamins needed to create life in the body again and to create this natural antioxidant that our body makes. So yes, eating cooked food is fine. I wouldn't eat only cooked food. I'd always make sure you're bringing enough of the raw foods for enzymes, or at least taking enzymes. But yeah, it's just looking at that balance. What are you eating today that's going to be the lemon for the apple? What are you eating today that's going to be the lemon for the apple? That's the way I have to look at it.
Wow. As far as cooked, I'm assuming you don't eat animal protein.
Rarely. I do because I have a husband and we have a family farm in Arkansas,
Okay.
and I will eat the beef from our family farm once in a while. I just don't like it. That's honestly, I just don't like meat very much at all. But I will eat, I actually do like the beef from our family farm. It's just, it's a more rare occasion for sure. I'm
But
not vegan.
obviously that you cook
So
the meat. Yeah.
oh yeah, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
honey. Now you're
Yeah.
talking to a German, and so if any of you know what a German is, we had cannibal sandwiches growing up. Like you just got the raw beef and you put it on a big plate, and your German celebrations, which was every time we ever got together, with raw onions and rye bread, and that's literally what you ate with salt and pepper. So yeah, that was growing up. Now you don't do that today, anybody, unless you own your own cow. But yeah, it was definitely that was definitely fun.
So let's go back to the body being able to heal. Do you feel that, first of all, there may be listeners that are very skeptical to that, but do you feel that the body is able to heal if it's a small little issue, or let's say someone with cancer? Do you
Mhm.
believe that someone can heal cancer by watching their diet? And also, I think mental attitude as well has to be really important. But what's your take on that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you hit it on the head. Number one, I've worked with countless people with cancer for 25 years now. So that's something definitely 100% you can heal cancer naturally. I've watched it over and over and over. I just literally sent someone home who lived here on the property with us for months, and the cancer is completely gone. The organs look amazing. Like, she's radiant, like her whole body came back. Yes, you can. I see it all of the time. But the mental part of it is really real, because the thing is, if people are religious, then some of them have different textbooks, because there's lots of books on religion around the world that I respect. And most of them do contain verses such as "a man thinketh," right?
Yeah.
And so when we look at our thoughts, they're actually really important. And if we wake up in the morning knowing that we have fibromyalgia or MS, and then that becomes our identity, it's no different than when they wake up and they have cancer and the cancer becomes their identity. So we have to be willing to let go of that identity, because yes, you can get rid of fibromyalgia. Yes, you can get rid of MS. Yes, you can get rid of cancer, but it definitely does start in the mind. Now, the other aspect of cancer that people get, they go into fear, because so much fear has been around cancer.
Oh,
And I think
yeah.
and another thing in religious textbooks, they all say if you understand something and know something, you actually don't fear it. So I come from a point where if you're afraid of something, that is something you need to learn. Because if you are afraid of shooting a gun, then you need to learn how to shoot a gun. And then you will not have that fear anymore. You'll understand that the people who shoot guns have a lot of knowledge, right? If you have a fear of getting on a subway, then I need to get you down there on the subway with me 17 times, and you won't have a fear anymore. If you're afraid of cancer, it's because you don't understand cancer. But see, there's a lot of money when you're in fear, because if you're in fear, you are in fight or flight, which means you are never going to make a rational decision. Nobody living in fear can ever make a rational decision. It is not physically, literally scientifically not possible to make rational decisions when you are in fear. You must be in growth mode to make a decision, which is why if any of you are in fear or really worried, anything coming out of your mouth, ignore, because it's not real. It's just like, no, that's not realistic. And so understanding that cancer cannot grow in an alkaline environment, and cancer cannot grow when there's enough oxygen. Cancer cannot grow if there's not food to feed it. Now, all of a sudden, we're like, oh, I understand cancer. So if I starve the cancer, it's going to die. If I alkalize my body, it's going to die. If I heat my body, because cancer can't grow over 109 degrees, if I heat my body, the cancer is going to die. And so now we look at thermotherapy and alkalization and 35% hydrogen peroxide. And we look at all these different things you can do for cancer. Stop eating sugar and grain, because that always, and your dairy, that all feeds cancer. If we look at how cancer grows and we understand that, and then we remove all the mediums that cause cancer to grow, then why are we afraid of cancer? Like, it's, I don't know. That's where I come from, is when we understand something, it takes the fear out of it. Lyme disease. A lot of people have Lyme disease,
Yes.
which people get really worked up about and they're really afraid of. A lot of people listening have Lyme disease and don't even know it. Like, many of you people, I could take the blood out of most of you, pop it under my microscope, and probably 60 to 80% of you listening have Lyme. But it's not active right now, because bacteria and viruses, they're opportunistic organisms. But if we understand that we have it and we get rid of it before it takes over the body, great. So it's just when you are in fear, I really encourage you to look at, why am I in fear? It's because you don't know. So if you're afraid of doing your taxes, afraid of balancing your QuickBooks, whatever that fear is, jump into that, because you don't understand it. And when you understand how the elevator works, or you understand the escalator, I hate us. My biggest fear is an escalator. Just putting it out there. I don't like escalators. They scare the hell out of me. I'm always like, they're going to eat me. So my husband just makes so much fun of me at any airport we're in, but I'm like, oh, the escalator. I still do this stupid escalator. Yeah? But one of my daughters, her shoelace got stuck in one time, and it was like terrifying, and her ankle's going to break.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that would put a scare in me that would live forever.
And I know it's not going to eat me. I'm much bigger than the escalator. But anyhow, but it is that we have to recognize our fear and understand it, and then we can approach that without that same level of concernment.
Cancer is frightening. I had a dear friend of mine that died of pancreatic cancer when she was 50, and she fought like no one else, and she fought with dignity and grace. She didn't feel sorry for herself. It was unbelievable. But once you see, my dad also died from lung cancer, but my dad, I could understand, because he smoked for 50 years. What do you expect? Of course, you're going to get lung cancer. You were putting it in your body every single day. But my friend Karen, she didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she didn't do anything like that, but she got cancer, pancreatic. And at the very end, she did turn to alternative types of therapy, but I think it was too far gone
Really.
already. But so when someone gets a diagnosis, breast cancer, or whatever, what are the first things that someone should do as far as changing their diet, let's say?
I'm really glad you brought that up, and I'm terribly sorry about your dad and your dear friend. I have lost friends and my grandmother to cancer. My grandmother, I didn't know what I know now. And my friend, there's one other very important thing that makes cancer grow extremely quickly, and that is Wi-Fi. So EMFs will activate a cancer cell 1,632 times faster. So if you have cancer, your cancer is going to grow 1,600 times faster when exposed to pulsing technology. So how in the world do you get rid of that in today's age? You have to be very understanding of cancer. And so this is when the router goes off. This is when we move out of the high rise. This is when we don't hang out at Starbucks with our cell phones. When we get cancer, still, I'm going to go back to the same thing. To remove the fear, we need to understand it. There's all sorts of amazing programs out there. Cancer is curable now. You can look at all the different reports on ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and hyperbaric chambers and all the things that we do for cancer, but understanding that there is hope. And maybe the biggest thing is maybe finding those social media channels or those podcasts where you're listening to people who have reversed cancer,
Yeah.
because then you have hope that you can get rid of that cancer. If you only hang out with people that vibrate at the resonance of you're going to have cancer and die from it, guess what? That's where your mindset's going to be. So this is when I call it elevating up. We're all at a certain frequency. You are, I am, all the kids, we know everybody's at a frequency. We vibrate, and we should always be trying to elevate, always learning, always growing, always bringing better food into our body, better supplements, better thoughts. And the very first thing I would tell anybody when they have cancer is, where are the EMFs? Where's your smart meter on the outside of your home? Where's your cell phone when you're sleeping at night? Do you have Wi-Fi on? Turn it off and go to Ethernet. All those simple things. But the other thing I tell everyone is to start laughing. Watch a funny movie that will make you laugh your guts out for 45 minutes to an hour every single day. The oxytocin that comes when you laugh and the oxygen that goes into the plasma of the body is so effective. And so laughing, I have people laugh while they're in the hyperbaric chamber, because then we're getting even more oxygen into the plasma. So looking for and then immediately, if you find out you have cancer, you don't drink another sip of milk. None of you were designed to suck out of a cow, by the way. Your babies were born to suck out of you, mom, and you were not born out of a cow, so you are not a baby calf, even though half the world looks like it some days. But like we weren't, we were not born out of a cow to suck out of a teat out of our mother and gain hundreds of pounds like a calf has to gain. A calf gains hundreds of pounds. We don't need to gain hundreds of pounds. So get rid of all that. But also, no more sugar, no more grain, because that's what's feeding your cancer. A cancer cell has up to 20 times more receptor sites for sugar than a healthy cell. If you're craving sugar, you probably have candida parasites or cancer, because no one should be craving sugar. Your body is designed to have 1 teaspoon of sugar in it at a time. 1 teaspoon in 1 gram, there's 4 teaspoons. So if you're drinking a soda with 12 grams of sugar in it, or 2 grams of sugar, that doesn't sound like much. That's still 8 teaspoons of sugar. Stop doing that. So if you want to understand cancer, learn about it. And then your fear of getting cancer or eliminating cancer will definitely subside. Now, that is not to say there aren't factors that get injected into people or that people are breathing that can cause issues internally that we are still learning about. And we're still looking to detox through different foot baths and different bathing techniques and whatnot. But for the majority of it, yes, you definitely can heal from cancer. I really honestly have seen people get rid of narcolepsy and epilepsy and neuropathy and you name it. It's just been an amazing journey the last 24 years. And it's not done like antagonistically against the medical community. It's done by understanding how the body works. And when we understand how the body works, then we can take control. We can take the reins of our health.
You mentioned grains a couple of times, so I'm curious, is it because of the gluten that's in and glyphosate
Mm-mm.
that's in grains? Why are grains bad?
Yeah, and that's a great point. Obviously, glyphosate is hard on the body, gluten is hard on the body. I agree with all that. But grain, if you look at a piece of grain, let's just say it's a piece of wheat, the outside of the wheat, right? The outside of the wheat is the bran, and the inside, little speck black is a germ. The rest of it is starch. And so the wheat bran makes you have a bowel movement. The wheat germ is where all your nutrients are, but all of that starch is sugar. And all of that sugar is designed to give that little kernel of wheat all the energy it needs to grow into a plant. But that sugar in our bodies, if we have cancer, cancers thrive on sugar. So all grain feeds candida, all grain feeds cancer, all grain feeds parasites, all grains do. All grains, all sugars. So that's just something to be aware of, specifically if we're dealing with cancer.
What if you're not dealing with cancer? Would
Yeah, if you're not dealing with cancer, I don't eat a lot of grain, very a couple times, maybe a couple times a month. We just don't do grain in our home. We do seeds. So millet is a seed, and buckwheat is a seed, and amaranth is a seed. Quinoa is a seed.
yeah.
So we do, and for our retreats that we do at Lily Fields, everybody who comes, they don't eat grain the whole time they're here. They don't have any dairy, they don't have any meat, they don't have any sugar, they don't have any grain, and you'll never hear a happier group of people. They love every meal. They like devour all the food. Nothing goes in the garbage or the compost. It's really funny because people don't realize how good the food is until they eat it. And
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's super fun to watch people's reactions when they're like, what are we eating? I'm like, that would be quinoa, or that's buckwheat, or that's millet. And they're like, what? So it's fun.
Tell us about the retreats and Lily Fields. Tell us
Okay.
what's that all about?
Sure. Holistic health educators, that's our main business. That is our online school of natural medicine. So we have students all around the world. We offer our school in 100 languages, and we love it. We have just the best graduates in the world. They're absolutely amazing. And then in 2022, I traveled America looking for where to open up a retreat center. And at the end of the year, December 6th, I pulled in the driveway and put an offer in December 7th, and we closed the week later, 69 acres here in Hawkinsville, Georgia, and we named it Lily Fields. And so it is a center that we started permaculture farming, emphasis on start. I'm still looking for farm managers. And then we had so much fun. We put in like a huge electroculture garden. It's absolutely amazing. And then we opened up a retreat, like a wellness center. I renovated one of the buildings here and built it into a wellness center. So we've got, I don't know, maybe eight clinic rooms and a kitchen and then a store. And we renovated a couple of the other buildings so people can stay with us on the property. And now we're putting on a couple additions, and we're going to be building dome houses and oppie houses, and all sorts of fun. So right now people can come for a 5-day to an 8-day retreat. Some people have stayed longer, but they'll come, and then they're able to use the hyperbaric chamber and all of our equipment at the wellness center. And it's a 5-day food retreat. Like they eat all of our food, and then they learn how to make it. So we feed them everything for the first 5 days, and then they get to juice and learn how to make other things the last few days. So it's really fun. It's a lot of fun. We love it.
So you mentioned juicing. Doesn't juicing have a lot of sugar and no fiber in it? So is that
Mhm.
healthy or
Yeah, and we do blender drinks and we do juicing also. That's not what they live off of by any means, but
right?
we teach them juicing when they want to do like a liver cleanse, or they
Ah,
want to do something, because that's what we do. So the day that, because they do a liver cleanse while they're here, and the day before the liver cleanse, it is only juicing. So juicing depends on what foods you're juicing.
yeah.
Juicing is an incredible way to help clean the body and the cell, and because it doesn't have fiber, it doesn't take as much energy on the body. So it's very gentle on the body when you're juicing. And so we do a lot of celery. Obviously, celery is nice and bitter, very good for the liver. So we'll do, celery and a bunch of herbs, add a couple of green Granny Smith apples in there. We do probably the favorite juice is a carrot cake juice. It's just carrots, which is a phenomenal way to also help heal cancer. Carrots are very effective at strengthening the cell membrane and help the cells of the body. Carrots is one of the best things for the cells of the body, which is why if you're going through chemotherapy, you can't eat carrots, because carrots are strengthening the cells when chemotherapy is supposed to be weakening the cells. So
Yeah.
it's fun. But so we teach them those things. But a lot of the food is, yeah, it's all things that they can make at home. They go home with recipes, and it's really neat. It's a lot of fun.
Wow, that's so interesting. So give us an idea, because you talk about healing at the cellular level. What does that really mean in very simple terms?
Sure. Simple terms. Think of a lazy river. And if you're going to the park and you grab an inner tube and you jump into the river in your inner tube, you are going to be around other inner tubes. There'll be other people floating around you. Have you ever been in one where there's so many people, there's no room in between the inner tubes?
Yeah.
That's congestion. That's congestion. So if you think of that water as a stream of nutrients, And you're supposed to be absorbing all those nutrients, right? You have receptor sites on your inner tube, hundreds of thousands of them, to absorb nutrients from the water. But if you're all stuck together in one big glob going down the lazy river, I can't absorb the nutrients I need because I'm stuck to your inner tube, and you're stuck to your girlfriend's inner tube, and we're stuck to our kids' inner tube, and we just can't breathe. We can't get the nutrients in the body. So that's called the interstitial fluid. The interstitial fluid, or the extracellular fluid, that's the fluid outside of the cell. That's the fluid that your cells are floating in. If that extracellular fluid is coffee with a bunch of crap in it, and if that extracellular fluid is a bunch of tea, quote unquote, teas that are soy based with nothing, there's more sugar than there is herbs in it. So be careful the crap you're buying just because it says tea does not make it good. If that is a bunch of dairy, if that is a bunch of alcohol, right? If that's energy drinks and soda pops, oh, good gracious, what are we doing to the cellular matrix of our body? How can we possibly expect our cells to absorb nutrients when there's gluten everywhere that we look? There's mucus from other animals floating in our bloodstream. If there's all this junk and all this neurotoxic activity floating in our bloodstream, how are we possibly going to get great cellular health? You got to start looking at what we're eating, drinking, and putting on our skin, because that's what we become. And so if we're drinking more water, if we're having golden milk, if we're drinking hibiscus tea, right? If we're doing these real without the sugars, right? This is just hibiscus and water, guys. And it's yummy as heck. I love hibiscus. We're going to start seeing a change in our cellular health. So think of cellular health as in, what am I eating? What am I drinking? What am I putting on my skin? All of it's going to be floating around the cells of my body, and it'll be feeding the cells of my body. So listen, you want a Snickers bar in your cell, or do you want an apple in your cell? Do you want a salad to feed your cells, or do you want a bunch of cooked mashed potatoes with a bunch of dairy in it and sour cream on top? Not might taste good, but you're not going to feel so great after half an hour, where you eat the salad and then maybe some potatoes. Number one, you won't eat as much potatoes because you just had a big salad, which is why salad's always first. But then you can still have some of that potato with whatever you're going to put on it, but it won't be the main course. So we have to, cellular health is, what are we going to feed this cell?
So what about, because the women here listening, yeah, everyone wears makeup and puts creams and anti-aging. What should we be putting on our skin?
Ah, I love that. Okay, so you happen to be talking to someone who's been doing this for 40 years. And if you were close to me, you would see I have absolutely no makeup on. My skin is very smooth, very soft, like a baby all the time. I don't ever use
Not
anything on my
crepey.
skin.
You don't have
No,
crepe.
I don't
Wow.
have anything anywhere. This lit. I'm 58 years old. This is my whole body.
I see. It's,
Yeah.
yes, it's beautiful.
And it is only because of what I eat. And I take a sauna. I love my sauna, and I eat phenomenal. And I shouldn't say I eat phenomenal, but I'll still eat something. Like, I can't go to visit my daughter and not stop at Nielsen's custard and get a custard like once a year, twice a year. I still have fun. Don't worry about it. I make my own chocolates, and I love chocolate, right? But we're very clean in how I make it and what we eat. So it's not that we don't get these great things. But for makeup, I have white eyelashes, so I need to use mascara, and that's the only thing I ever use. If you're going to use makeup, there's so many great organic lines that only have a few ingredients. You can use blackberries for your mascara. There are things you can do that are so easy that are healthier and safer for your skin, but that skin is a huge organ, and every single thing you put on the skin goes into your digestive system and into the cells. And so if you can't pronounce it, if you don't know what it is, don't put it on your skin because you don't know what it's going to do. But this is an interesting point. Consider what a humectant is. So a lot of the oils that women put on their skins, they don't realize aren't actually nourishing their skin. Your skin grows from the inside out. So if you want to have healthy skin, you start with what you actually start and end with what you eat. Topically, there's only two things I think should like really ever be put on skin. The number one thing being olive oil. Olive oil is a humectant. So when you put raw, organic, extra virgin olive oil on the skin, not only are you throwing so many nutrients into your skin, you won't know what to do with it. It's a humectant. It brings water and moisture from the air into the skin. Most oils, definitely all lotions, are not humectants. They are designed to make you have soft skin, but it's not making your skin soft. You have soft skin because it's putting a layer across your body,
Yeah.
and then it's adding all the chemicals that make it feel soft to your touch, but it is not softening your skin. Your skin grows from the inside out. So without all your lotions, you're back to having your dry skin and you've got liver spots and blah, 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 blah. And so we really only recommend showering and using soap that is good for the body. I am a stickler about water, so please go get a shower filter. Last thing you want is chlorine beaten on you. So if you have chlorine and you can smell it in your water, don't take a bath ever, and get a chlorine filter right away. You really don't want to ever soak in chlorine. I don't understand how people can possibly feel safe being around that much chlorine. It's not, if you study chlorine, you'll know why. But anyhow, so look for a salt pool near you and then consider using olive oil on the body. Now, if you're going to get into that pool because you love swimming and it's chlorinated, put coconut oil all over your body. Coconut oil is not a humectant and it will seal the skin. So nothing will get into the skin. So if you put coconut oil on the body and then you get into the pool, the chlorine will not. It'll be much harder for the chlorine to get into the body. But if you just pop in your pool and it's got chlorine in it, you're going to suck that chlorine right up. And that causes erectile dysfunction in men and all sorts of circulatory issues from women as well. Chlorine has a very neurotoxic element to it.
Wow. I was going to ask you about coconut oil as a moisturizer, but I don't think, based on
Yeah, it
what you
doesn't
just said,
moisturize.
it does
Yeah, it
not.
does. It does not moisturize. Yeah, it won't moisturize, but it's great. Coconut oil is antibacterial, normally antifungal, depending on where you're getting it from. There's controversy now on some of the coconut oils, but it really is a very nice way to soften your skin. It also has I use coconut oil when I'm outside because it has SPF of 15 to 30. So I put coconut oil if I'm outside just because it can protect the skin from the sun.
No,
But
you could use that for sun protection?
yeah, oh yeah, that's all you need. And you can put some sandalwood in there. There's some great recipes out there, but I don't use sun protection. I've raised my 12 kids without sun protection because the sun is the only way to make vitamin D.
Yeah.
But you only make vitamin D in the body when the UVB rays hit the skin. And the UVB rays only hit the skin between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So the best time to be in the sun is actually between 10 and 2 when the UVB rays are actually down to the earth where enough that it can actually hit us as that sun is moving. So that's where we're at. That's where we are is as human beings, we need the sun. The sun, I don't believe ever that the sun could possibly ever cause cancer. But what happens is if you've been eating French fries and you've been putting chemicals on your skin and you go outside and the sun's a detoxifier, it's going to heat that skin and that infrared heat is going to pull all the toxins to the skin to get them out of your body. That's the job. The job is to detoxify your body. So the sun and the rays of the sun will hit the skin and draw toxins out of the body. That's though where we have some chemical issues because we don't know all the chemicals in our skincare or in our food. And because we've eaten those chemicals, they're in our body, they come to the surface of the skin and the sun rays beat on that and mix, and many chemicals are photosensitive and they will cause a cancerous or a bad reaction. That wasn't the sun causing the cancer. That was the food we've
Wow.
been eating, mixing with the sun rays. And so it's very interesting. I'm a big take a step up. Now, I'm not diagnosing. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm a minister, a comedian. This is what I do. But I am also a holistic healthcare practitioner. And I have seen the sun heal so many people that I cannot justify speaking about health and not talking about the power that is within the sun's rays to help humankind.
Give me an idea. What has the sun healed, for example?
Oh, a lot of cancer. The sun
Oh,
heals a lot of cancer.
really?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And the sun, vitamin D is a hormone. So you're not
Yes.
just getting this. They call it a vitamin, and I really wish they wouldn't because it acts more of a hormone than anything. It's incredible
Yeah.
for the heart. Getting out in the sun will help your heart. Getting in the sun will help your ADD, ADHD. Getting out in the sun will help autism. Getting in the sun. I don't know what the sun can't help. I really don't. I honestly don't. I'm a huge naked at noon person. Now, that doesn't mean you can come watch me naked at noon, but I preach it. Get naked at noon wherever you are. I don't care, but get more sun right now, please, because it is so beneficial for the body. However, look at your medications, talk to your doctors, blah, blah, blah. Look at what you're up against, but first maybe detox the body, detox the liver, get some of the toxins out of the body. But you will also find when you're alkaline, you don't burn. You don't burn. I don't burn. I don't burn. I do
Even
not
fair
burn.
skin. Look how fair I
I know
am.
you're so sweet and fair. Yeah. And so for you, I would use coconut oil, but then I would go out and be as naked as noon as possible for 5 minutes and then 10 minutes. And then every day, slowly increment up
Oh,
how many minutes you're out there. And pretty soon you'll be out there for an hour and you will not have any issue because your melanin and the skin is that's what it's designed to do is be out. We are designed to be outside no matter where we are on the earth. And
yeah.
so those of you who have darker skin, you need more sun. The darker the skin, the more sun that is needed to create vitamin D levels that are adequate. And vitamin D is stored in the fat tissue. So it's a fat soluble vitamin, but again, it's also a hormone. And so getting out in that sun until the very last day before winter sets in is so important because we need to store that vitamin D to help us get through the winter months. If you're darker of color, you need a lot more of that sun to absorb into the body, number one, to maintain the color of the skin, but not even maintaining it, but to maintain the level of melanin that it needs, but then also to have enough hormone and vitamin D to be used in the body. So you won't need as much sun as I would. I have olive skin. So
Yeah.
I need to be in the sun more than you, but you definitely need the sun.
That is
Isn't
so
it fun?
interesting. Let's switch gears for a second. Why do you think that so many women, especially over 40, often feel disconnected from their bodies?
I think we've been taught to be disconnected from the bodies.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, we have been. We're disconnected for a number of reasons. I think this is the number one reason, right? We get on our
Oh,
phones and we're looking out all the time where we really need to look in. I don't have it with me, but so I think being able to look inside more, meditation is one of the best things you can do for that is just start at least waking up in the morning and don't grab your phone, don't roll over onto your sweetheart, don't, whatever, just lay. If you set an alarm, okay, we should work together so you don't got to do that anymore because you have an internal clock that'll wake you up. But like when you wake up in the morning, just lay there for a minute and thank your body. Hey, liver, thank you. Love you. Hey, pancreas, it's gonna be a great day today. Talk to your body, move your body, feel your body, touch your skin, get to know you again and what makes you feel good. And honestly, I would really encourage anybody to wear a glucose monitor for a week just to watch your glucose levels, see what
yeah.
spikes you. You're going to get to a point where you can eat something and you can feel your blood pressure raise. You can feel it inside the body because when you're in touch, you're going to know those things. That doesn't mean you're going to necessarily want to stop eating it, but you're going to want to curb how much of that you're eating. Like when you go and you get your coffee and you add all your crap in there and you drink it, listen to your body and see how you feel because your body's not going to be happy if the first thing you're drinking in the morning is coffee. It won't. You might be happy because, oh, you love the flavor of that caramel latte. Your body is not happy. Your body will be much happier when you wake up and you drink a quart of this. You drink a
Yeah.
quart of water, you throw some lemon in there and some basil, I don't care, make a fish tank out of it, but put something in the water and drink your nutrients so that your cells are now floating in water before you start pouring piss in the body. And my husband always says, my husband is he was an interrogator, investigator kind of guy in the military, so he's a little intense, but he teaches something that's so true. He said, if you put a bunch of piss in a cup, right? And now we know there's junk in the water, right? He says there's piss in the water. You can put sweetener in there and you can put more water in there and you can put more garbage in there to make it taste better, but there's still piss in the water, right? And so we need to get it out of our system. You need to flood it out of the body. You need to clean and detox the system. He refers to it quite a bit from emotions and trauma. But it's so true even with our bodies. If we're so used to drinking this and this and this and this, right? And it's all toxic, let's replace it with some water, hibiscus tea, whatever it is that you're loving, some golden milk. Start replacing and detoxing to a point where you're not going to crave all that sugar anymore. You really won't. You don't. If you have a sugar craving, you have candida overgrowth,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Period. And when you take Candex, you get rid of Candida, you won't have the sugar cravings anymore. That's the best side effect of getting rid of Candida is you don't crave sugar anymore. You don't. Human beings do not crave sugar.
How do you detox from sugar or how do you eliminate candida? That's really what I want to ask.
After 25 years of practice, I will tell you the easiest way to do it is to get a product called Candex. It is a product, Candex. It is a specific enzyme blend that is designed to eat the outer shell of the candida. A candida, if this was around little candida floating in your, and I see it in bloodstreams all the time, every day, right? But if this was candida, It has a really outer shell that's very hard. And so you need to actually break through that with enzymes. And so you can take different sorts of enzymes. You can do this without Candex as well. You just have to be a little more aggressive because you need to starve the candida, which is no more sugar, no more grain, no more dairy, the whole candida safe diet. And then you have to kill it. And you can kill it with oil of oregano. A bunch of antifungals can help kill candida. You usually need to use more than one. And it's when do you use the antifungals? You must do it late at night, early in the morning when there's no food in the stream. That's going to help best. But the candida is to the whole body. Candida is not just in the gut, off gassing and making you bloat, right? Candida is through the entire body. And so starving it, killing it, and then eliminating it, making sure you're having those 2 or 3 bowel movements a day, which every one of you should be having that. Like that, if you're not having 2 or 3 bowel movements a day, then you are constipated, no matter what your medical professional might tell you. You were a baby at one point and you ate and then you pooped. And that's how it
Yes.
has been. You eat and you poop and you eat and you poop, and nothing should be different when you're 58 years old. If you have dinner or breakfast, you go and you have a bowel movement. It's that clockwork, and you can restore that pretty easily. So don't worry about that. But that's what I would recommend. I'd recommend killing that candida because it will help you get rid of the sugar cravings.
Wow. I love this conversation with you. What are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have about healthy eating today?
Oh, the biggest conception is that it doesn't taste good. They're crazy. It tastes amazing. I have served tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people food. I had cafes. I make food for people all the time. Every day I'm feeding somebody and they love it. They just don't know. They don't know how to use spices. Like my spices are all in quart jars and and we'll go through quart jars and quart jars of spices every single month because spices are medicine, right? And so when you're using basil and oregano and marjoram and thyme and turmeric and ginger and coriander and cumin, and these are all they're all over in my food. You cannot go wrong with food. So do not, if you think that eating healthy means it's not tasting good because you haven't had good food that tastes good, that's healthy. Don't buy gluten-free food. It's just, you should not eat gluten. Like a lot of people should avoid gluten, but
Right.
gluten-free food tastes awful. So take my course or something. I don't know, but like just, we definitely don't want you to fear having healthy food. So find a really good organic restaurant near you, ask for their bestseller and start eating that, and go online and get some great cookbooks. My cookbook, I just sold my last one, but we'll be printing them again soon. I'm going to put it out on digital in the next few months. But anyhow, but you'll find lots of good recipes out there and you're going to have fun with it. Have fun with your food.
Wow.
Love your food.
I love this conversation. I could talk to you forever. I'll give my audience some final thoughts that you'd like to leave us with.
Oh, number one, you're super sweet. I just love you. I can see why people want
Uh,
to listen to you all the time. You have
I
such a
love you
sweet
too.
disposition. I love it. So when I come to New York next time, we're going to have to get together and have a big presentation out there.
Yes.
I think the number one thing, though, if anybody's looking for where do I start, there's a couple things I start with. Number one, wake up and drink water.
Okay.
Please just drink water. Get a whole quart jar. Go to Goodwill, get a quart jar for 50 cents and just fill it with water every day and drink water. And drink good, clean water. Please don't drink tap water, but drink good water every morning. Put some lemon in there, lime. I don't care what you're putting in that water, but really try to drink that quart. I tell people 2 quarts by 2. So if you can drink 2 quarts of water by 2 o'clock, your whole life, just doing that, your life is going to change. The second thing, so it's probably 4 I'd leave you with. That's the first
Okay.
thing. Number 2 is going to be mindset. So the mindset needs to be, I can do this. Maybe that should be number 1, but the mindset needs to be, I know I can do this. I believe I can make changes. I believe I'm worth it. A lot of people, they wake up and they're already defeated and they haven't got out of bed yet. And so waking up and looking inward instead of outward is really important because where focus goes, energy flows. And if our focus is on, oh, another day of me having pain from my arthritis, or, oh, I still have cancer, darn, I woke up today, oh, my daughter's still not talking to me, oh, my husband left me 2 years ago and I can't get up. Whatever your definition is of the day is going to be where your focus is and all your energy goes. So getting into the mindset of creation, it being a creator, right? Creating something new today, trying something new today, walking out the back door instead of the front door, rearranging your pantry, do something new. Because if you don't like your life right now, who created that? That would be you, right? Most often, unless there's abuse. And so you have to look at the situation and go, okay, I'm going to focus on something different today. I'm going to focus on being alive and living more fully. Okay, I'm going to try that. Maybe I'll try a cup of water in the morning, then maybe 2 cups of water. So the water and the focus is huge. And then the two other things to look at is maybe eat more living food than dead food. Try to eat a little bit more living food every day. There's more a salad, an apple, whatever. It might be some raw asparagus is so chumpy and yummy, a cucumber. Like I walked into my office the other day and I had a big orange pepper because I just grabbed it out of the fridge. I was in such a hurry and I ran over and was chomping on my big orange bell pepper. And my client's daughter was like, I love those. I'm like, here, you can have one too. I was like, don't be afraid to just eat living food. And then the fourth thing is your electrical environment is so key.
Yeah.
Where is your cell phone when you're sleeping? Don't leave it in your bedroom. Make sure the Wi-Fi is off when you're sleeping. Look where the smart meter is on the outside of your home because it's most likely killing you because it has 100 times more frequencies than your cell phone does. And those are already very dangerous. I have all the equipment to test that. You can find so much online with people testing and showing that to you. Your electrical environment really matters, which is why grounding is so important and just understanding the whole antioxidant spiel that we started with. Go back to getting enough of those antioxidants into the body from grounding, from your food, from the people you hang out with as you can.
I love it. I love it. Zuzu, you have to come on again because we haven't even scratched the surface.
Absolutely.
It
Reach out
was
to
my
Tracy.
pleasure meeting you, having you on here. I love the work that you're doing. I'd love to come to one of your retreats. Keep me
Yeah,
posted on things like that,
I
please.
will. I will. We actually are putting together a couple weekends, 3-day weekends that we're going to have some of the podcasters come down to if they want to come and join us so they can see what
Ah,
it's like here. Yeah, we would love to do that. So I'll definitely add you to that list for
great.
sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Susan.
wish you the best with everything.
Thank you. And you have a beautiful week.
You too. Thank you so much for listening today. Zuzu reminded us that true healing doesn't come from chasing symptoms, it comes from going deeper to the cellular level, to the root, and really learning how to nourish and support our bodies the way we were designed. What I love most about this conversation is the reminder that it's never too late to begin. No matter where you are in your journey, your body is always communicating with you. And when you start listening and giving it what it truly needs, incredible transformation is possible. And as Zuzu said so beautifully, she loves your guts. So maybe it's time we start loving them too. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and help us spread the message of healing and hope to more women who are ready to feel vibrant, energized, and at home in their bodies. Thank you so much for tuning in to Susan LoPresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul. I'll see you next week. And until then, take care of your mind, your body, and your soul.